more action. PBC Fight Night Extra on FS1 and Fox Sports at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific Time. It'll feature a matchup between Jason Rosario and Jorge Cota. Also, the likes of Carlos Parderas, Alfredo Pero Angulo, and more. You do not want to miss it as we go wall-to-wall on Fox Sports, and FS1 this upcoming Saturday. Right now, without further ado, it gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce the man who no doubt will be a part of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He's promoted events all over the world, and he understands how to find talent, take someone from 0-0 to being a world champion and subsequently a Hall of Famer. Please welcome my dear friend, the president of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown.
Well, thank you, Ray, and thanks, everyone, for joining us on this conference call for what should be an amazing card presented by Premier Boxing Champions on Saturday night. And as Ray said, the Garcia Granados fight will be televised live on primetime network television by Fox and Fox Deportes. The Dignity Health Sports Park has been home to some modern classics in Southern California. It's replaced the famous Olympic Auditorium. And the main event with Danny Garcia versus ADRIAN Granados, it's a sensational fight, incredible matchup of styles, and really one of the best non-world title fights you can make in the welterweight division. The late, great Hall of Fame matchmaker Tenny Brenner said about matchmaking, it's not simply a matter of putting the number one and number two guys in the ring. Anybody could do that. It's a matter of first determining whether the styles of the two fighters blend. And in this fight, that's a hell yes. Then you have to decide if it's an important fight. In other words, will the winner move on to a bigger fight? Absolutely. And thirdly, he said, as a fan, is it a fight that I would want to see? Because the fans want the best fights, and that's another hell yes. So I can't wait for Saturday night. Now I'll toss this back to Ray. Thank you very much, Evan, for joining the call.
Thank you very much to Tom Brown. And look, I'll tell you this, when Tom Brown gets excited for a fight, you know it's something special. And speaking of special, this man that I'm getting ready to introduce has been a part of some of the most special and some of the biggest events in combat sports history. Talk about been there, done that. He's promoted the biggest events in the history of the sport of boxing. Please welcome the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, Mr. Leonard Ellerbe.
Thank you, Ray. We're really excited about this Saturday night. We have a terrific fight. We got two guys who are really never in a boring fight, and their styles really, really mesh well, so we can really expect a hell of a fight this Saturday night. Both guys come into the fight with something to prove, in my opinion. I think when you look at Danny wants to really look spectacular because he really wants to show the world he's still one of the best welterweights in the world. And a scintillating performance this Saturday night, it will do just that. On the other hand, with ADRIAN Granados, never, ever have we seen ADRIAN in a boring fight. He'll be looking to get that career-defining win that will immediately catapult him in the mix with all the other big money fighters that are out there in the welterweight division. So both guys will be looking to make a statement come this Saturday night, and the fans can expect a great, great fight. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Leonard. Really appreciate it. And right now, as we get set to meet the main event combatants, it gives me a great honor and pleasure to welcome in a guy who has a record of 20 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, from Chicago, Illinois, been involved as a professional for a decade. He's won 2 straight. He has stepped inside the ring with the likes of Sean Porter, Adrian Broner, Javier Fortuna. When it comes to classifying this guy, I have to look at him as a throwback fighter because he will fight anybody and everybody, and he's constantly bringing you pressure. He's of Mexican descent, and he's so emblematic of what a Mexican fighter is all about. And no doubt he will be in his best condition and ready to put on the performance of a lifetime. Please welcome Adrian El Tigre Granados.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Adrian, if you want to give a couple opening thoughts.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm excited for this Saturday. It's going to be a good fight. I know me and Danny both got a lot to prove in this fight, and I know that our styles mesh well. I know, Dignity Sports Park is, known for giving good fights, and I feel like we're going to give a classic. I'm coming for the win. It's going to be a great fight, and may the best man win. And you know, in this case, I feel like I'm the best man. You know, I'm not gonna back down from a firefight, and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to win this fight. I can guarantee a great fight, and you know, may God bless us both and take care of us, and yeah, man, let's get it on.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Greatly appreciate it. And also, it gives me a great honor and pleasure to introduce his opponent. So we have Adrian Granados, who's of Mexican descent, and this man is of Puerto Rican descent. So you have the Mexico against Puerto Rico rivalry that'll be on display on Saturday night. But this man is a two-division world champion, 30 years of age from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 31 years of age from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 11-year pro. He's been in the ring with the likes of Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, defeated the likes of Lucas Matisse, Eric Morales, Amir Khan, Paulie Malignaggi, trained by his father, Angel. He's also a throwback fighter, bites down in his mouthpiece, comes forward, and always puts on a sensational show for all the boxing fans around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Danny Swift Garcia.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on. You know, I can't wait. You know, it's been a long camp. It's been a long, hard camp. I put in all the hard work. Now it's time to go in there this Saturday, handle business, and give my fans another great, entertaining fight.
Thank you very much, Danny. And both guys are, as you can hear, prepared and ready to go. Now, if we can have the operator opening up for questions from the media.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And our first question is going to come from Lance Pugmire from the Los Angeles Times. Please go ahead.
Hi there. This question's for Danny. Danny, obviously you know that across the country there's another pretty significant welterweight fight with Terrence Crawford versus Amir Khan, a guy that you beat. Which fight do you think is going to be more entertaining as you guys go to head with this one?
Oh, definitely my fight. You know, you guys know what I bring to the table. I always bring fireworks, speed, power, entertainment, blood and guts. So I prepare myself for, you know, a classic fight. I trained hard for 10 weeks straight, and I'm ready to go in there and show the world, you know, who's one of the best and why this fight's the fight to watch.
Yeah. From your standpoint, Adrian, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit before. You've been through so many close decisions and a lot of adversity in your life. Do you have a feeling that basically this is kind of like your moment? This is fate has brought you to this showcase bout to really, you know, break through and put yourself among the top welterweights in the world right now?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I know that I'm known, you know, for putting on great fights and just coming up short, you know, whether it is, you know, over a controversial decision or any other controversy. So yeah, I mentioned it to Leonard Ellerby. I'm tired of it. So I'm definitely going out there to put on a dominating performance, and I know I have hard work ahead of me. So definitely, you know, I'm ready for the task at hand.
You know, how do you feel about the skills of Danny Garcia? Are you seeing any kind of him diminish in any way, shape, or form? Are you expecting the best Danny Garcia, given what the stakes are for him as well?
No, most definitely. I'm expecting the best Danny Garcia. You know, he's made it clear. You know, he's trained very hard for this fight, that he's not overlooking me. And I mean, that's definitely what I want, and that's how it should be. You know, I always want to fight the best, and I'm never gonna back down from the best either. So I mean, it's gonna make for a great fight, and you know, I think we'll be putting on a classic this Saturday.
Great, thank you guys.
Our next question is going to come from Keith Idek from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
My first question is for Adrian. Adrian, what can you do in this fight beyond making it convincing? Because sometimes even if you make it what you feel is convincing in the fight, the judges might not necessarily see it that way. What can you really do to make sure that you don't come up on the short end of another very close decision?
Well, just plain and simple, I gotta take it out of the judge's hands. If I get Danny hurt, then I'm definitely gonna step on the gas to try to get him out. And if not, I'll just have to put on a dominating performance. I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's gonna be a tough fight, but I've also trained very hard, and I'm ready to deliver.
Adrian, Danny has one of the greatest assets he's shown in his career is his chin. You feel you can get him out of there, though?
Yeah, anybody could get out of there. I respect who he's been in there with, and he has showed a great chin. But anything's possible in that ring, and anybody can be stopped at any time.
Adrian, what did you think of his performance against Sean Porter, and how might you maybe compare how you fought against Sean Porter?
He fought a tough fight. It was a close fight. But I had Porter, just out pressuring him, out working him, and there's some things that I guess I could take from that fight. But I'm gonna win my fight, Adrian Granados style.
Okay, thanks. I have a couple questions for Danny also. Danny, what do you think about Adrian saying that he would be able to get you out of there? Obviously, your chin has been one of the greatest assets in your career.
As a fighter, he has to be confident. But in reality, I faced the biggest punches in the game. I faced the fastest, strong, some of the best fighters in the game, and I've never been down in my career. And that's just how hard I work in the gym. I'm always in tip-top shape. I'm a high-level fighter. I faced a lot of adversity in my career, and I highly doubt that. I got a lot of skills. I'm in great shape, so if anybody's going down, this fight is definitely gonna be him, not me.
Danny, how much do you feel going into this fight, coming off a loss in what was a close fight against Sean Porter, but a loss? How much do you feel people are kind of doubting you at this point?
I don't know nothing about that. I feel really good. I think this camp right here was better than my last two camps, the Porter camp and the Rios camp. I feel like this is one of my best training camps. I feel like I'm in great physical shape for this fight, and I'm gonna come and prove that and show that Saturday night.
Danny, why was this training camp better than the last couple of camps, in your opinion?
I was a lot more disciplined. I gave it the extra grit. I worked on new things. I was more disciplined on my diet. I got a new conditioning coach who worked on a lot of new things. So, it just felt new. It felt good. I got great sparring for this fight, and I think everything we did. I know everything we did in this camp was perfect, and it's gonna show Saturday night.
After your last couple of fights, Danny, did you consciously make that decision that I need to add a nutritionist or whatever you added to your team? You felt it was the way to go for you for your next fight?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like I needed to work on new things as far as conditioning. The skills is over there. The stamina was over there. The road work was over there. We just needed to work on different muscles and things to help me improve and make me a stronger fighter. And I felt like we did at this camp.
Adrian said earlier, Danny, that he knows that you're not overlooking him in this fight, that you obviously trained hard and everything. When you're fighting a guy who has, and he's been in some very close fights that could have gone his way that did not, but when you're fighting a guy whose record was what the other guys you fought, their records are, how challenging is that sometimes, or is it just that Adrian's such a tough guy that you couldn't do that?
No, at the end of the day, I don't look at it like that because you can't overlook nobody in this sport. If you're better than him, you got to go in there and just be better than him. I can't go in there, train easy, and make it a harder night than it's supposed to be. So that's why I train really hard, because I want to go in there and show the world that I'm simply just better than him.
Dan, just one last question for you, and I know it pertains to the fight that you're kind of competing against to some degree on Saturday night, but you've been in the ring with Amir Khan. You've knocked Amir Khan out. You're well aware of how good Terrence Crawford is. Do you give him any chance in the fight at all?
I think it's a great matchup because Khan is not an easy style to prepare for. He has fast hands. He has quick feet. So it's definitely going to be an entertaining fight. And Terrence Crawford is not really a pressure fighter to try to knock you out one punch or try to break you down and take you out of the lead. So I think that is definitely an interesting matchup.
Do you expect Crawford to win, though?
I honestly believe it's a 50-50 fight. I think Terrence Crawford has more momentum going into the fight than Khan, but I honestly believe it's a 50-50 fight.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Adrian.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian and Danny, for taking time to talk to us. My first question is for Danny. Danny, you're coming out into this fight from a loss against Sean Porter, and last year you had a great performance against Brandon Rios, coming out of a loss against Keith Thurman back in 2017. How do you compare the mindset heading into this bounce-back fight compared to the fight that you had against Brandon Rios last year?
You know, it's always tough. It's always tough because I'm a winner. So it's always tough when, you know, a fight doesn't go your way. But I try not to think about that. I know those are great fights, and the future is now. So I can't worry about what happened in the past. My mindset is just simply just winning on Saturday night and winning in fashion. Everything else just doesn't matter to me no more.
I know your focus is on Adrian this Saturday night, but how much do you kind of think about a potential rematch against Keith Thurman or Sean Porter, given how close both of those fights were on the scorecard?
Yeah, definitely. Those are definitely fights I want to avenge. I want revenge on those fights because I obviously felt like I did enough to win both of those fights. But you know, I can't worry about that right now. I feel like those fights will always be there in the future. In the near future, so I just have to make sure I go in there Saturday night and handle business first.
Thanks, man. One question for Adrian. Adrian, I know you've faced some of the top names out there at 140, 147 pounds, and some of those fights were very, very close. You kind of look at this fight and think to yourself that this is, you know, maybe not your last chance, but maybe a great chance to sort of prove anybody that may be doubting you heading into this fight.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I'm coming to win this fight. You know, I'm tired of the controversy. I'm tired of, you know, them finding any way to not give me the win. So yeah, just, you know, definitely got to come in and really just take the fight. You know, they're not gonna give me the fight ever, so I'm gonna go out there and have to take it.
Thanks, Danny, and thanks
Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao, two all-time great legends, and just him saying my name definitely motivates me to make sure I handle business Saturday night. So that's why I took this fight very serious, and I know it's a big fight for me, so I have to go in there and make sure that I win this fight hands down.
And this is a big fight for both of you guys. When you look, and this is for Adrian too, when you look at the landscape of the welterweight division, you see Terrence Crawford and Amir Khan, you saw Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia last month. What does it feel like right now as boxing continues to get deeper and deeper? What do you think that means for your division?
Is that for me or is that for him? Oh, all right.
Danny, then Adrian.
Oh, all right. Yeah, definitely. You know, I've been in there with mostly all the top guys. And, you know, I've been in there with Amir Khan already, you know, Porter, Thurman. I've been in there with a lot of guys at, you know, 140, 147 already. So it's definitely interesting. There's a lot of great matchups to make. So whatever fight you make at 147 is going to be an interesting matchup because there's so many styles and mega fights. And, you know, I've been a part of a lot of mega fights, and I love the feeling of it. That's why I got to make sure I go in there and handle business Saturday to set me up for those big fights.
Adrian?
Yeah, no, well, you know, this is a big fight. You know, this is my big fight, and you know, I know that Danny knows that this is a big fight for him too. You know, I could definitely knock him out of all those plans. You know, I understand that he's a bigger name than me, and they have a lot of things set up for him. But I come out on Saturday and upset him, as they would name it, an upset. That throws my name into the hat with all those fights. I myself would like a fight with Manny Pacquiao. I would fight, anybody, and boxing knows that. And that's why this Saturday is a huge fight for me. It's a must-win opportunity for me because winning this fight definitely changed the landscape for my career. Win or lose, most definitely I'm gonna put on a hell of a show, and I know that, and but definitely I'm not trying to leave without a victory.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question is going to come from John Cutney from the Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Okay, hi. This is a question for Adrian first. So you made a lot of fans in your close competitive fights against Broner and Sean Porter. On Saturday night, will you be satisfied to go the distance in another competitive fight, or are you determined to come away with the win at all costs? In those fights, the decision didn't go your way. Are you really fighting to get the win this time?
Most definitely coming out with a win. That's what I'm focused on. That's what I got my mindset on, and that's what's gonna happen. I know that it's gonna be a good fight, and I know I'm gonna put on the show, and I'll be there, the whole fight. But I definitely need this win, and I'm coming out for it.
Thanks. This is a question for Danny. You fought on network television before. This was a little bit more of a novelty a few years ago, but you've actually fought on network PBC shows a few times. Is it exciting to be back on network television again, or are you motivated to get back onto pay-per-view after this fight?
No, I think this is great for boxing. I definitely think just fighting on regular TV is great for boxing. I think that's what made a lot of great fighters like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, all those guys fought on regular TV. So I think this gives us a bigger platform. It intertwines boxing with all the other sports that come on that channel, like football, basketball, baseball. So I think anytime you mix up boxing with all the big sports on a regular TV channel, is great for boxing. So I definitely love being on Fox and regular TV.
Okay, great. So a follow-up question. There have been a few welterweight pay-per-view fights this year. There's another one on Saturday night. It looks like there might be a few more this year. Do you think you've been unfairly left out of those conversations? Speaking of Sean Porter specifically, you had a razor-thin fight with him last time out. I scored it for you. I was at the Barclays Center. Is it frustrating for you to see that he might get a fight with Errol Spence next, or do you feel like this is just kind of how boxing works, that you need to take this fight with Adrian first?
No, I feel like it's all about timing. I feel like boxing is one thing I learned about boxing is really all about timing. Because if you look at it like that, you'll be frustrated. You'll always question like, why I'm not the man on? Why? How did he get it before me? And I've been here longer. I've been a champion longer. So I know how the things work. Boxing is all about timing. So I have to make sure I handle this business first, and then we'll definitely get some pay-per-view fights in. Not the end of the year, or maybe next year for sure.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Good luck on Saturday.
Our next question is going to come from Cameron Buford from the LA News Observer. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys, I got a few questions for each of you. Mr. Granados, can you talk to us and share with us what Ed Brown means to you, and how much of him will come into the ring with you on Saturday?
Ed Brown means a lot to me. That's my little bro. Definitely, was raised through the boxing ranks with him. Went to a lot of amateur tournaments there. We used to always represent the Great Lakes in the Midwest. He's always there with me. It's like a guardian angel. I feel like, just life got come up short because of the gang violence in Chicago and the gun violence. I carry him around with me all the time in my heart, and I definitely I miss him, and I know he's looking out for me.
Well, thank you for that. I know you endured a lot of controversial or just a few controversial losses. What would a win this weekend over Garcia mean to you, controversial or otherwise?
It would mean big. I need it. I'm tired of the controversy. I'm tired of the drama in my career. I had to go out and get a dominating win and a satisfying win. It would be.
You mentioned earlier that you hope the best man wins, and you believe you're the best man for this fight. Why do you believe you're the best man to win this fight against Garcia?
I think just overall that I'm a better fighter. I think there's a lot more that I could do in the ring, and Saturday night I'm gonna show that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Look forward to seeing you Saturday. Mr. Garcia, got a few questions for you. Kudos to your investments back home in Philadelphia. What other solid investments have you made that you would like to share with the public? And then are you coaching up the boxers that train in your gym on the same stride of life and investment and looking out for themselves and taking care of their money?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We definitely want to make sure we make smart investments, pay our taxes, invest in real estate, and things of that nature. So, yeah, I'm always talking to the young kids about investments and saving your money and things like that. So, definitely.
Will you talk about the addition of your new strength coach, and then how you feel these tactics have made you stronger? Can you feel that strength, and if so, how?
Yeah, definitely. Worked on new things, a lot of explosion, working on explosiveness, a lot of twitch muscles, working on different things, agility, footwork, and I definitely feel like it's gonna show come Saturday night.
Okay, one last question from me, guys. Thank you. You talked about setting goals for this fight. What are some of the goals that you set? Can you share those with us? Will you share those with us?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go in there and win this fight. I want to go in there and dominate this fight and show the world, why I'm one of the best fighters in the world. And I trained hard, and I'm 100% sure that I'm going to go in there and do that.
All right, thank you guys for your time. Look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday night.
And our last question is going to come from Luis Cortez from the Weigh In podcast. Please go ahead.
Hey, Adrian. Hey, Danny. Quick question for both of you, and then one for Danny. You guys are fighting at this, now it's no longer the StubHub Center, but it's basically over the past couple of years been known as the venue for exciting wars for the fans of boxing. What does it mean for both of you guys to be the main event at this venue?
It feels great. It feels great to be in their main event. Actually, I fought at the StubHub when it was at the Home Depot Center, I believe, on the Oscar De La Hoya versus Stevie Forbes. So I fought there one time already. It was a great atmosphere. So I'm definitely looking forward to going back in there and show out. So, and I won the welterweight title in LA too in 2016. So California's always been good to me. So it's definitely a great atmosphere for me, and I can't wait to go in there and perform.
And same thing for Adrian.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the fight. It's I know it's gonna be a great atmosphere. I've watched plenty of good fights there. Over the years, and I mean, I'm excited. That it's in LA. It's gonna be a high Mexican population. So I know they're gonna come out to support. And it's known for a great atmosphere for fights, and I feel like that's what's gonna happen this Saturday. It's going to be a great show and definitely going to be a great fight between me and Danny.
Great. And then actually both of you guys can answer this question, and it leads to the follow-up. Obviously, you can't overlook what you guys have on tap for Saturday night, but both of you guys have really had your best performances when you've been active, fighting more than just twice a year. Obviously, like Danny mentioned, everything in the sport in terms of business is from a timing standpoint. But would you guys like to see yourself be more active moving forward once the result comes in on Saturday? At least trying to fight like 3 or 4 times a year just to stay sharp?
preparing for high level fights it's a lot of hard work. I got a daughter now. I have a family, so I'm happy with if I can get 3 times that would be great. But I think 2 times is great for me, especially at a high level. Give my body some time to rest. This will be my 37th fight of my career coming Saturday night, and I definitely take my body to the extreme and push myself to the limit every time I'm in training camp. So I definitely feel 2 times. I'm happy with 2 times. If I get 3, that's a blessing. But 2 times is good for me.
And same thing for you, Adrian.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with fighting busy or fighting when the fights come to me. Definitely, I'd like to stay busier. But I mean, I gotta take whatever God gives me, and I'm very appreciative of it. I'm happy, and I live a good life, and I'm thankful for God, for everything I get. So yeah, no, it just basically, I'll take them how I can get them.
Cool. This just popped in my mind about the fact that Brandon Rios, the style matchup for you, Danny, is kind of similar to what you can expect on Saturday with Adrian. And you had some moments early on where you had to break him down. What do you expect from Adrian that's a little bit different from Brandon in terms of the fact that maybe he's a fresher fighter?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I compare his styles to a couple people I fought. He's kind of like a Robert Guerrero type fighter too. He's an adorable guy. He likes to come forward. He's just not southpaw. They seem like they have same type speed, same type power. Definitely more like Brandon Rios, where he comes forward just a little more fresher. So I know what I'm up against, and I prepare myself. I spar with guys like this. I fought guys like this in the amateurs, and I know what I'm up against. So I'm prepared for this fight, and I know what I got to go in there and do to win this fight.
And Adrian, there were some moments early on in that fight with Brendan where Danny was trying to figure him out, and Rios was able to apply some of that pressure and have some success. Do you see that as something that you can build off of, being the fresher fighter than Rios was?
Yeah, no, I mean, every fight's gonna be different, so I mean, I'm not gonna completely compare myself with Brandon Rios. It was an exciting fight for as long as it lasted. Definitely, I was surprised with how much success Brandon had against Danny. But Danny was, worked him, broke him down, and caught him with a good shot. But I mean, I definitely see myself doing a lot more than what Brandon did, and I mean, all respects to Brandon Rios, who's a great fighter, but I'm Adrian Granados.
Well, that was the last question for today.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, operator, for that. And before we let both Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados go, want to once again remind the media, PBC on Fox and Fox Sports as we go live from Dignity Health Sports Park, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock local time. Tickets still available, AXS.com. I'm going to open up the floor to Adrian Granados first with closing comments. So, Adrian, if you want to go ahead and give any final thoughts as you get set for your matchup against Danny Garcia this Saturday.
Yeah, no, just definitely excited for a great fight. It's gonna be a war, and I'm coming with everything, and I'm definitely coming. I'm coming for a win. I'm coming for a dominating win, and I'm coming to just turn some heads. People are writing me off in this fight, and definitely that's not what's gonna happen, and I plan on delivering Saturday night.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Now I'll turn it over to the two-division world champion, Danny Garcia, with final comments.
Oh, yeah, I want to thank the media, for, of course, taking the time out to ask questions and make this fight a bigger fight. And, what can I say? All the talking is done. All the hard work is done. It's the final stretch, the last couple of days to the weigh-in, then fight night. I've been here plenty of times. And I can't wait to go in there and show my fans, you know, Ron, one of the best fighters in the world. And I put the work in, and I can't wait. All the fans buy your tickets. Make sure you tune in, record it on Fox, because it's going to be a great night of boxing and a legendary night for Danny Garcia.
Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you very much to the media. We look forward to seeing all of you during fight week and also on Saturday night. PBC on Fox and Fox Sports is Danny Garcia going head-to-head against ADRIAN Granados. Do not miss it. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. We'll see you here in Los Angeles during fight week and then on Saturday night from Disney Health Sports Park in Carson. Thank you all to the media.